Okay, hello. So today I thought I would just show you a really quick and easy sewing project. It's something that I'm in the middle of sewing. I've got kind of all my stuff set up, so I thought I might as well just show you guys as well because it's probably one of the easiest things to sew. You don't need a pattern for it. You are just sewing straight lines. It's so easy. Yeah, so I'll show you one of the pieces I've made up already just using this idea, and then I will show you how I'm going to do it with the other piece of fabric, which is this one. So yeah, so this is what I'm making. So this is the dress version. I'm going to be making a top today. So all it is literally 4 squares. They're stitched together at the sides about, I'd say, 15 centimeters down, and same in the middle. This one I just added a little tie to. You can do that if you like. If not, you know, that's all up to you. Ooh, ignore the hangers falling. Yeah, and then this one I did have to line, but I just lined it by making the exact same thing and attaching it along the top, just like so. Just simple spaghetti straps. So it's super easy, kind of summer look. You know, it's literally just sewing a few seams straight down the center and the sides, and that's all. And it just makes a really cute, swingy, kind of summery, fun dress. So yeah, I'm going to show you how you do it. Literally using 4 pieces that are just the exact same square, super easy to cut out, super easy to do. Okay, so the first thing I was going to say is using a fabric like this, or like the one I used on the dress, which has obvious lines through it, is going to be the easiest thing, because then when you're cutting straight you can kind of just follow the pattern of the fabric. But if not, that's all good as well. So with this, I've just folded it in half and then in half again. So there's 4 layers of fabric here, so there's 2 folds there. And if you look on this side, there's 1, 2, 3 and 4 layers of fabric, because we're going to want 4 pieces. So all I'm going to do is cut out a square which is 37 centimeters by 37 centimeters. I just measured this on myself. The 37 centimeters needs to come down from top shoulder to the waist where you want it to sit. So if you're wanting it to be a dress, you would want to make that quite a bit longer. But also consider that the diagonal is what's going to be sitting kind of straight down the body. So if you are making a dress, make sure that's not going to be too long. So for this one, it's going to be around about 50 centimeters. So that's a good length for me for a top. Whereas I know that for when I was making the dress, which is now draped on the chair with the cat, that I originally made it too long. I made it 1 meter by 1 meter, the square on the sides, and that made the diagonal way too long, and I'm pretty short, so I had to cut that down quite a bit. So yeah, if you are making a dress, make sure the shorter length, the side length, isn't so short that it's going to be too short for a dress. So just kind of take the measurements on yourself, play it around, and have fun with it. If in doubt, always make it longer rather than shorter, because you can always shorten something, you can't lengthen something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark out the square, and because it's got these lines on it, I'm just going to cut them straight out of here. If you don't have it, then I suggest getting a big ruler like this and some sort of fabric chalk, or even just putting pins in it every so often so that you can easily cut straight down the line. Oh, also I should say, the reason I'm doing 37 centimeters is because I want the length to be 35 centimeters. So that's adding 1 centimeter for the hem on either edge. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you the measurements, how to take them and everything like that. I hope this angle's alright. It's kind of the only thing that I can do with my phone. So I'll start the measurement right where I want the top to start, and then pretty much just drape the measuring tape where the top is going to fall. Then I'm going to measure down, so mine's to about my belly button, and that's where 35 centimeters is. And then what I did was some quick maths. I did 35 times 35 times 2, and then I did the square root of that, and then that gives you vaguely what the diagonal length is going to be. If you aren't sure, the easiest thing is just to draw up that shape and measure the diagonal if you're not confident with math or anything like that. So it's about 50-ish centimeters. So I just keep measuring tape where it was before, and 50 centimeters actually comes down pretty low, about there. So as you can see, creating these squares create quite a drastic difference in height when the 35 sits there and then the 50 is down here, but it does create a really nice flowing shaped top. The other measurement you're going to need is the straps. So again, just measuring where you want the top to kind of start and finish, and that on me is about 28 centimeters. I'll cut it as 30 because it's just easier to round up, and you can always cut things down, whereas you can't make things longer as easily. And the straps, I'm just cutting them as 3 centimeter strips, and then I'm going to make them into the spaghetti straps. If you're not confident with that, then the easiest thing to do is to get a bias tape and use that as your straps instead, just folding it in half and stitching it down. It's a pretty easy step to follow. I'll show you that as well when I'm going through the process. So now I just put pins in vaguely so I know which lines to follow. Okay, my phone died because I'm running out of space on it, but pretty much I just put some pins in just so I know which lines to follow. Now I'm going to go through and cut it out and just cut along the fold as well, so it's nice and easy. Yeah, and I'll show you how I begin stitching it up all together. Prevent fraying, but yeah, I've got the overlocker, so I did that. Now all that I'm going to do is pin the pieces together. So I'm going to leave, like I said, about 15 centimeters from the top. This is again something you should measure on yourself just to double check, and then I will stitch down from that 15 centimeters all the way down, and then this 15 centimeters is just going to be turned in and left as the top piece. I'm also just going to note this fabric is dual-sided, so I'm going to do similar to what I did with that where it's two-tone. I'm going to do one side without the white and then the one side with the white. This is just my style choice because my fabric allows for it, but it's definitely nothing that's needed for this style of top. Okay, so I've pinned it up. So these pieces are pinned together here with everything is with right sides together. Then we've got two pieces pinned together here. So then flipping over to the back, same thing. These two are pinned together here and same here. So kind of looking from one angle, you've got the center seam and then the two sides, and then on the other side it's the exact same thing. The only other thing I'm going to stitch is the straps. So these I've just cut kind of really thin strips, and I'm literally just going to fold these in half and stitch with a 1 centimeter seam. So that means that there's only going to be ½ centimeter left, and then I will trim the seam down. The reason I'm keeping it at 1 centimeter is because I find it easier to stitch and then trim it down rather than stitch with a 5mm seam allowance. So yeah, and then I will turn these through using a loop turner. You can find them at pretty much every sewing shop. Yeah, so I'm going to stitch all that together and then update you. Okay, so that has all been stitched on the inside there. So now all that needs to be done is the hemming. So I'm just going to turn this over a centimeter and stitch it down. I'm also just going to add a stitch about a centimeter in at the hem along the bottom. Even though I'm not turning the hem up and I want the raw edge, I don't want the fraying to continue all the way up the garment, which is going to happen if I wear this a lot and I wash it a lot, whereas if I have the row of stitching there, the fraying will only go as far as the stitching. While hemming, I'm also going to attach the straps. I'm just going to, when folding this over, place the strap in there and stitch it down, and then place the other side to the back piece as well, and then the top's going to be done. So this is seriously such a quick and easy project, and it really works for any fabric that has a nice drape to it, anything that's soft and light, and it's just a really perfect summer project. I'll even probably wear this in not winter, maybe autumn and spring, because I can just pop a t-shirt underneath and then that kind of covers my shoulders and keep me a little bit warmer. So yeah. Okay, so I finished the top. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I ended up not being able to find my loop turner, which is why the straps actually have the raw edge, but I kind of like the raw edge matching the raw hem. I'll just go over and kind of like rub my finger over the edges so that some of the threads come out and it looks more purposeful. I feel like when I leave it without a few of the threads kind of falling down, it looks like you almost forgot to hem it or something. Yeah, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's super like swingy and fun and just, yeah, a really nice little top. I think it's such a simple and basic thing that you can self-draft and such a quick and easy sew because it's all straight lines. There are no curves, nothing too difficult. I think if you're a beginner sewer, it's really probably a good project to start with. You can make a top, you can make it into a dress. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you're liking these more kind of unformatted casual videos. They're just a bit easier for me to make with how busy I am. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. And yeah, bye.